Hey, what's going on YouTube, and welcome to another video. Today is Thursday, which means we're going to do a top 5, and we're going to cover the top 5 bruisers for Season 7 in the jungle. First, we're going to quickly cover our runner-up, not quite good enough to make the top 5 list, but he's very solid. It's Xin Zhao. Xin Zhao is your traditional bruiser who can build just 2 damage items and do an absolute ton of damage while building tanky at the same time. Usually you're going to find yourself getting the BloodRaiser enchanted jungle item and a Trinity Force, and then you'll go into full tank from there. If you do need to hyper carry games, you can always go for a Blade of the Ruined King or a Ginsu's as well. He can fill that role as well, but traditionally he will be a bruiser. His Q, W, E, and R all contribute a lot of damage in his burst combos, and his passive even reduces 15% of the target's armor, which contributes even further. His W's passive on every third auto attack even heals him, so he's able to sustain in the jungle rather easily. With this passive heal and all the damage he gets from his abilities and his items, he can even take Baron and Dragon down rather quickly. All in all, he is a really strong champion, but just not good enough to make the cut. Let's move on to our actual top 5 with our 5th place champion, Jax. Jax is a champion just like Xin Zhao that gets a lot of damage from his abilities, but he does also have pretty damn strong defensive abilities as well, which edges out Xin Zhao just slightly. Most traditional bruisers go for 2 damage items, but Jax can actually afford to go for 3. Usually you'll find yourself going for a BloodRaiser enchanted jungler item, Trinity Force, and a Hextech Gunblade. You're going to have a ton of attack speed, but also a bunch of attack damage and ability power. This is completely fine though, because Jax is one of those few hybrid carries out there. Your passive gives you stacking attack speed, your leap strike is a really strong gap closer or escape, and a power will do a lot of damage as well and is only on a 3-second cooldown, making it work so great with the Trinity Force. Your counter strike is your first defensive ability that can actually be used offensively as well, since it can stun the enemy. The dodge it provides is even stronger though, because the enemy can't hit you with any basic attacks, so you're going to be able to get off some pretty strong damage. Your ultimate, however, is why you can afford to go for 3 offensive items, since it does give you bonus armor and bonus magic resist when you do activate the ability, which is based off of your attack damage and ability power. He's an incredibly strong champion, especially in the late game, but he's only number 5 on our list. Coming in spot number 4, we have Jarvan. On Jarvan, you'll want to instead go for a warrior enchanted jungler item and then get a black cleaver and possibly a titanic hydra as well. After you grab those, of course you want to go for a couple tanky items. Jarvan then has a really long range reliable gap closer from his E and Q combo. As long as you can land this on your enemy champion, it is a rather good initiate as it will knock them up as well. Now Jarvan is then notoriously known as a dunker because if he does have a decent amount of attack damage, he can use his R on a squishy target and blow them up. His Q ability also reduces the target's armor, and his passive does do target's current health bonus damage, so he can usually blow them up rather quickly. He's then got one defensive ability which will shield him when activated, but it does also slow the enemy, so it does have offensive uses as well. Since his ultimate does make a circle of impassable terrain for 3.5 seconds, he is an extremely solid pick against AD carries that don't have a way of jumping out. Yet again, another really solid pick, but let's move up our list. Coming in that number 3 spot, we've got Shobana. Shobana is a champion who jumped up quite a bit when she did get her passive rework. She deals more damage against dragons, which means she can take them earlier on than most champions, and she scales off them as well, as she does get bonus armor and magic resist. This already sets her up for success, because in the lower tiers, people aren't always going to have dragon warded, even if they're against a Shobana, and she can really help her team scale because of it. She then gets a lot of damage from her Q, W, and E ability, and her W even gives her movement speed, which makes her close a gap on her target rather easily. However, when you do finally obtain your ultimate at level 6, you can jump in dragon form, which is a really solid engage as well. This will then of course also empower your abilities, making you stronger than you already were. You're then going to be a very tanky champion because all you usually go for is a BloodRaiser and then usually a Titanic Hydra, which also makes you tanky at the same time, and then you go for full-on tank items. With this pretty much 1.5 offensive items, you will do a lot of damage because of your abilities, and you're going to be insanely hard to bring down, especially if you have those bonuses from getting dragons. Coming in at number 2, we have the horse, because apparently horses are better than dragons, Hecarim. Hecarim's the first jungle champion in this list that makes really good use of the Courage of the Colossus Mastery Keystone. He has reliable ways to proc it, and with his high damage and gap closer, he can easily tower dive people, even early on. For your item build, you have the option of going just for a Trinity Force and still being able to hard carry games. You have the option of going for a Cinder Hulk if you do want some early tankiness, or you could of course just stick to the Warrior enchantment as well. At this point, just like all the other bruisers in the game, go for a pretty tanky build. On Hecarim, you then want to go for Ghost because when you combine it with your devastating charge, you have incredibly strong ganks. No matter how mobile the champion you're playing is, you're not going to really be able to escape him when he does have Ghost and devastating charge available. If you decide to use your flash to go over a wall, he can easily follow you with his Onslaught of Shadows. His Q ability is then very spammable and works great with a Trinity Force and can output a lot of damage. He's also a champion that's still banned 30% of the time because of how strong he is. As strong as he is though, there's still a champion better. That champion occupying the #1 position, despite dying over and over again in this video, is Vi. It's gonna be a little awkward trying to convince you that she is the best bruiser jungler out there at the moment after you did watch her get destroyed for about 5 minutes already. She's just so insanely strong and incredibly easy to use that there's no way she can't be #1 on this list. Yet again, you're gonna find yourself going for a Warrior Enchanted jungler item and a Trinity Force. After this, of course, you go for full tank. Courage of the Colossus is part of the reason Vi is so strong at the moment, because it's really easy to proc on both your ultimate and your Q ability. Not only will you have this shield, but when you hit an enemy with an ability, you will also get a shield because of your passive. Your ultimate then has a 140% bonus AD ratio, and it does CC a target for 1.25 seconds. It is a point and click ultimate, and even if you are new in Vi, you can be pretty successful as long as you ultimate a squishy target. She's also a very safe champion in the jungle because if she does get invaded, she can easily use her Q ability to jump over walls, and at max rank without cooldown reduction, this only has 8 seconds. It's also amazing for engaging. Even though you already have an absolute ton of damage, your W ability will reduce the target's armor by 20% and also do target's maximum health damage, making her very effective against tanky targets as well. All in all, I think Vi is definitely the strongest bruiser in the entire game, at least in the jungle role, and there is a reason she's second in win rate in the jungle at 54%. But that, ladies and gentlemen, covers everything I've got for top 5 bruisers in the Season 7 jungle. Since there is a large amount of bruiser junglers out there, I'm curious if you guys do agree with the list, and if not, what champions do you guys think I did leave out of this video? That should have had a spot, of course. As always, if you guys did enjoy the video, please like it. If you are new here, please also subscribe. And for more of my content, you guys could also visit the video description below for a link to all of my social medias. But other than that, thank you guys a ton for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!